Great. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you all for being here. And I'm going to be talking, as just explained, about the face of crypto and the motivators for brand ambassadors. And why this is important, it is because with a blockchain project, you obviously have a lot of community members, and you want to inspire them, motivate them, and really engage them in a way that also makes your project thrive when you're co-creating with them. So you see here our CEO, Dr. Ben Goertzel, at the Joe Rogan show, which was a great moment for us because it was the first blockchain project that was actually on the Joe Rogan show. We partnered with UNESCO as well for to provide education to those in need. We started the Decentralized AI Alliance, where we are combining different AI blockchain projects together to use the power of the community. And we have a lot of partners as well, and that is all thanks to the community. So if we look back at 2017, the blockchain market raised $5.6 billion in 2017 dollars. 10 of the largest projects raised 25% of the capital. We had 913 ICOs, initial coin offerings, and the return on this was 12.7 in 2017. Might have been a bit different in 2018 with the bear market, but these are the numbers. So obviously a lot of people want to put money into this, and they want to be part of a project, right? So why do they participate in this token economy? First of all, when they're participating in a token economy, they become co-owners of the ecosystem that a company's product is based on. So in the regular world, we know shares. So you have a share of a company and you are entitled to some right. In the blockchain world, you have a share in the actual product of the company, and you can actually contribute to how that product is further developing. So they can use this token sometimes as a currency to buy things on the companies and other compatible ecosystems. Sometimes it can be used to also vote. It can increase or decrease in value. In the case of security tokens, you even have, maybe you have some right on some profits of the company. And since the holder has a financial incentive for the project to succeed, you usually see them quite strongly present in the community of these projects. So you will have to be in contact with them, and we are very thankful for that as well. So if we look at the concept of crowdfunding first. So crowdfunding involves an open call, mostly through the internet, for the provision of financial resources in either the form of donation or in exchange for the future product or some form of reward to support initiatives for specific purposes, okay? So when you're combining crowdfunding with blockchain, that is when you get the ICOs and the STOs. So ICOs are usually for utility tokens, which are the tokens that are being used in a product, in a company's product or ecosystem that they're building, and STOs may be some sort of a share, right? When you combine the two together, you have the ICOs and the STOs, which is the ultimate funding machine, but it is more than a funding machine. It is actually also a co-creation machine. So when we look at the token economy, you see here on the left some tokens. These are created in token generation event. They are stored on a distributed ledger, such as, for example, Ethereum or Neo. And you're deploying smart contracts, and that is where the magic here happens. So it could be voting contracts. It could also be, for example, our SingularityNET AI registry, which is a central smart contract on the blockchain that is decentralized as well, where everyone may register an AI service into this. Now, you may think, usually with open source projects, yeah, you built them and then, well, everyone can access them, and then, yeah, I mean, can you really make money with it, right? The thing with smart contracts is when you're building an ecosystem around a smart contract, you cannot just simply copy the smart contract and then deploy it again and get the same benefits. So because people registered this AI service to this specific smart contract, so they need to re-register it to a different smart contract if you would be copying it. So this smart contract, the SingularityNET AI registry, with all the AI services, is a common good for all on one place on the blockchain that everyone could build some sort of like unlimited front ends maybe too, and build out their own thing while they're co-creating. And then that goes, of course, to the decentralized apps with some utilities for utility tokens, or maybe a wallet with some security token. So if we look at how digital business has been shaped through the last years, we see that there are some paradigm shifts in the ground of creativity. So companies are trying to foster peer-to-peer driven collective intelligence here to create new ideas and launch them. We see there is a hyper-connected connectivity between users, so they feel part more of the virtual world than actually from maybe even the country that they're living in. We see that convergence takes place, which is the unification of various information channels via the internet. People are collaborating, they're co-creating. This is based on 4 principles, namely openness, peer-to-peer sharing, cross-border work, and criticizing of ideas. There's one missing. And then you have the community, which I will dive into more deeply, which is where you are leveraging digital platforms for community benefits. So social movements and self-organization of virtual communities occurs via social media. So to give you an example, we didn't stop with one Telegram group. We eventually got 18 self-organized and self-managed Telegram groups, all guided by our volunteers. And I thank you so much, volunteers, if you're watching. So if we look at this, so what roles do these cryptocurrency community members take? How do they experience the cryptocurrency communities? And what can blockchain marketers learn from this for their strategies, not to sell them stuff, but to actually create a community atmosphere where everyone can thrive? So I interviewed them, and I asked them about it. So the selection criteria that we used here was that they participated in an ICO, so they have some flesh in the game. They are active on Telegram, as that is the go-to social media for most crypto communities. And they had no prior connection with me, which means that we did exclude people from the SingularityNET community because otherwise there would be some bias. Okay? So if we look at the roles that were identified, we have the developer role, obviously, coding. We have traders, which are usually people that are changing token holdings quite fast. Investors that are in it for the long term. We have the regular community member that just pops in, pops out, chats a bit, and is around. We have the volunteer, who is actively answering questions, that's really contributing to building this information system. And we have employees who are maybe working for a different project, and they might, lure into other projects and see how they're doing things as well, or they might just be chatting in other projects as well. So there are a couple of key motivators, and I'll explain to you in the end which motivator is important for which role. The first is the informational motivator. So these are the people that care about sharing and exchange of information. And they want to do this with like-minded participants and or experts. So for example, we have a Telegram group that is for futurists and philosophers. So they're only talking about that. They're not interested in talking about developer material or something like. No, they really wanted to talk about futurism and philosophy in line of AI. And they want to meet with like-minded people, so we created a place for them there. Similarly, developers, they might not really care about certain other chat, but they really want to talk about technology and the tools and how to use them. And below you can find some quotes from the people that participated in this research and what they exactly said about this. The second is a self-discovery motivator. So that means that one establishes oneself through interaction with others by seeking refinement in one's own thinking or by connecting the self with external phenomena. So for example, these are maybe people that are like decentralize everything, power to the people, right? We're building a new world right now and we need to change it. We are not caring about people that are currently in power, as the girl explained in the video. We are going to change it right now, and we're going to take the power in our own hands. Then you have social integration as a motivator. So this is when one is motivated by building social relationships with others that are like-minded in order to combat loneliness and to find support. So there are quite some community members that they did not really have people to connect with, and they are finding new social relationships with other people. And I'm very happy to also see that happening, and that is also what makes me, just makes me very happy to see that they're finding each other, right? Then we have the social enhancement motivator, and that is because one is motivated to participate for the validation from the community and to build some social status. So it is for example, to get some recognition for their contributions. They want to validate their ideas. They want to know that what they are saying and sharing is important. Then you have the entertainment motivator. You cannot have Telegram without trolls. So sometimes people are just in it to have a lot of fun. So they just want to poke some fun, say some crazy stuff, and just have a good time to chat with other people, right? Of course, we also have the financial motivator, where the participant wants the token price to go up because they want to make a profit. And finally, we have a professional development motivator. It was very hard, especially in 2017, to find, for example, blockchain coders, developers, because this is not something that you go to, you go to school and you immediately get this as a class per se. It's a lot of self-learning, right? So they want to engage with the tools to get that unique knowledge, or they want to engage with the industry to get that unique knowledge. Then there is also a company to community relationship. What this means is that for them, it's that communication is key, but different communities have different needs. So what you cannot do as a company, if you're really appreciating your community, is just stay dead silent to them. You need to communicate with them, you need to share with them, you need to keep them updated, you need to give them the right resources, you need to engage them. If you really care about your community, you need to engage them. So if you look at all the roles and the main motivators, you can see here on this slide exactly to which role, which motivator is the main driver to be in a community. So for example, developers, they are looking for information, they're looking for social integration, and they're looking for professional development. So think of, for example, developer portals with the right documentation, right? Or workshops or something like that. Social integration, finding other developers to work with, and professional development by contributing to code actually building some experience in working in blockchain projects or AI projects. For volunteers, traders, investors, members, employees, can all see this. So what does this mean for marketers, right? It means that you can enable the right motivators for the user roles that you would like to see more. So let's say that you want more developers in your community, then you look at the motivators informational, social integration, and professional development, and you give them that to have more developers in your community. If you want more volunteers, you give them the opportunity for self-discovery, social integration, and social enhancement, and so forth. Oh, that was too fast. So in that way, you can grow your cryptocurrency community in a way that benefits your specific project. And you can create like the right balance of the different rules that you need. But whatever you do, you must do it with a real heart and real care for your community members, because they will know if it's not real. When you do that, you can actually succeed with your blockchain and AI project. Thank you for listening. I can take any questions right now.